Hey guys, sorry we lost cell coverage. Now we're using my cell phone. So, welcome back, Mike.
Welcome back, guys. Again, as I was saying, Smithers is another forgotten municipality in Fayette County. However, the mayor and city council is working actively to remove dilapidated buildings as well as perform adaptive reuse for several older school buildings in the city, and actively working to improve sidewalks and other infrastructure.
Yeah, look how nice this looks. Look how nice this looks.
So, if you look at the street lights, if you look at the brand new sidewalks in the town, it's obviously they're working hard to improve the look and grow business. Which brings me to another point. Recently, the county signed a lease to take over the Boy Scout Welcome Center on 19. So that's supposedly going to be a new welcome center for Fayette County in the name of economic development. However, we worry about 19 constantly, but what about 60? If you look at the comp plan that Smithers developed for their city, they specifically mentioned in that comp plan the need for a welcome center. And if you look at where Smithers is on the map, Smithers is the gateway to the Midland, Troy, and New River Gorge from the north and west side of the county.
For sure.
So, the value of putting a welcome center, where we already have high traffic and volume, and a stronger economy in the county, and ignoring the needs, and in fact, what appears to me not even acknowledging the needs in the comp plan that Smithers developed, is actually an act of negligence on the part of the commission. So, going back, Smithers has my commitment that if I'm elected into that position, one of the first things I will address is their need for aggressive economic development here in the county, in Smithers, in Montgomery, and that welcome center that they're looking for here to help drive that traffic through 60 that's already traveling back and forth through here is addressed, and the needs are met with a new welcome center here in the Smithers area, addressing 60. So,
Roger that.
yeah,
I will add to that by saying it. So I own the Barn Loft in Fayetteville, and I can tell you the number of people that this is the way that they come to Fayetteville. This is the path that they are taking. So to his point, to Mike's point, to Smithers, their comp plan addresses this issue. I'd love to see those monies redirected.
Absolutely.
And to serve so many other needs down in this neck of the woods. I mean, it doesn't. Both of us, all of us in the car driving this morning into the region could see some infrastructure issues, roads.
And with that, you also see the pride that people have in their homes. They've made their homes up and down 60, and here in Smithers. So you've got a huge residential population up and down 60 right now. That's here for a reason. They've made their commitment to the county. They're paying their property taxes. They should in turn have that same commitment on the part of the county in developing that infrastructure and creating that opportunity to entice businesses into Route 60, and specifically in municipalities like Smithers that are trying to grow. They have very little B&O to support their current operations.
Okay, so speaking of infrastructure, let's talk about flooding.
Yeah, so one of the places that we're going to end up at here very shortly is here on Smithers Creek and heading towards Candleton.
Are you ready to head that way?
Sure, let's go.
Let's go. So tell us about the call that you got yesterday, Mike.
In the last 24 hours, we had some constituents that live here in Candleton Hollow that in fact sent us the video, which we're happy to post on our website. Flooding that was occurring right outside their home in the creek that had caused 3 different trees to fall.
Four. There were 4 trees.
Into the creek, which again was causing flooding onto their property. Now these are 2 families that have already lost pieces of their home and property, including cars. To them, in estimates of over combined almost $200,000 in the last 5 years. Now, the only thing that needed to happen was have the trees removed from the creek timely to avoid the backflow from washing out their property.
And so what did they do?
So they reached out to the county.
But what else did they do?
They also called 911, and have still yet to hear a response. Anybody's coming out, so we did make a call to the county ourselves and asked what the process would be to find, some support to get these trees removed. So what we were told was this. Again, because of limitations and restrictions by DEP, they had to be careful what they did with the trees. However, as long as the trees could be removed from the creek reasonably
entering the
without entering the creek, then that'd be no problem. So we did manage to make a couple phone calls, and the biggest concern was who was going to pay for it. So my question is, knowing that at least since 2003, this creek has been subject of extensive flooding routinely during the year. As a matter of fact, let's get a picture of the creek right now, which is up already today.
Right.
With more rain coming this weekend, the tree's not removed. And it's absolutely important to me to think that we still don't have an emergency process in place when these trees fall to have them removed immediately.
I do want to add.
Yes.
Want to give a shout out to the deputy who helped this
Right.
family. He did that. Okay, we're not going to be able to go up this
We're
holler
not
because
gonna.
we don't have the cell phone coverage. So let's turn her around for now.
Now, while we're turning around, and I apologize to the constituents up here that were supposed to drive up to the creek. We don't have coverage. We will make it up here again another day and meet with you all personally. We have my commitment on that. But the point is that there should be processes in place to deal with these contingencies when they occur, so we're not bouncing around the phone all day and all night waiting for our houses to wash away just because somebody's afraid they aren't getting paid to remove a tree. I do thank the people that did respond to our request via Facebook about removing the trees. I do appreciate the people that at the county courthouse that picked up the phone for me. And as Ms. Clark said, we do thank the deputies that came out that helped them move their cars to make sure they weren't damaged. However, I do reach out right now to our county elected officials and say, please give these people some sort of options when these things occur so they can make one phone call and know that they're not going to lose more property or, even more importantly, loss of life. Because, you know, the largest liability we have here in the county is human capital. So what does it take to put a process in place to make sure we don't lose, that our taxpayers do not lose more of their hard-earned property and avoid losing members of their family with flooding?
Yeah, so the other aspect to this issue is that, of course, when there's a disaster is declared, FEMA is involved, and they were involved in the 2022 flood. However, monies from FEMA were not allocated to individuals. So there are individuals who are still reeling from the effects of the flooding that happened and continues to happen since that time. So we're trying to better understand why assistance hasn't been granted as a result of them not being the recipient of FEMA funding.
Correct.
And we're trying to figure that out. Mike, you want to bring us up to speed? I'm going to switch gears on us now and tell us what's the latest with respect to the county commission and things that happened this week and will continue to happen. I guess there's another meeting on
Sure,
Friday.
we'll have another meeting tomorrow, which is, as a matter of fact, just to follow up on what we're talking about here with Cameron Hollow and the flooding issues that occur. We do have commitment from Alan Ballard that he's going to be asking for monies to be allocated to have these trees removed as soon as possible. So, Alan, thank you for doing that. We appreciate that. So we do know that's going to be addressed tomorrow in the meeting. Now, beyond that, there has been some discussions on the levy in the last 2 meetings. So there was a vote Monday that agreed that they would put the levy back on the ballot in May. So thank you for doing that. However,
Tell us what that levy covers.
levy covers, again, our firemen, fire departments, our volunteer fire departments, and labor component of that, and our libraries. So, now,
And our law enforcement.
and our law enforcement, right, the sheriff's department. So, now the issues that we're having right now is the fact, along with that vote that occurred on Monday, put on a ballot, also came suggestions by one of the commissioners in changing the methodology around that ballot, around that levy, which would, one, split evenly the costs of the taxes from the levy between the firemen and the sheriff's department, which, you know, again, if you're looking at things logistically, it does not make sense. You've got the fire department here, who's been managing their money very well. Not that the sheriff's department hasn't. Of course, they've managed their money well. But, again, these are good stewards of their money today, both entities. So why we would change methodology behind those funds makes no sense to me, especially with the logistics around changing the amounts yearly between the tax collections around the levy, excess levy, from a fixed rate yearly currently that we have currently versus again having a variable rate each year depending on the monies that were available from the levy.
So that's what's being recommended.
Right, so it's being recommended, which I'm completely against, because again I think that if you look at the collections currently, they're hard enough to collect. But property taxes in Fayette County since National Park designation have been going through the roof. So, which means our taxes have been going up to the roof as well, moving forward. So we're looking at a huge tax fall off potentially in the next few years with difficulty in collections.
They have. I haven't experienced that personally, but okay. So, go ahead.
No, okay.
I am sorry to interrupt. I don't have anything else to add. I just
So anyway,
haven't
I think that
experienced
before we start making huge changes in how we collect those taxes and the amounts, I think we need to look at the logistics of it. So we have pulled the excess levy guidelines for the state of West Virginia, and Monday I'll be making a phone call to the state auditor's office asking if these recommendations actually fit in to the requirements on the state excess levy guidelines, and if it's actually legal to do that way, and if they have done it in other parts of the state, has it worked out logistically?
Okay, they're voting on that on Friday. Why would you wait until Monday to do that? To call the auditor?
Well, I was going to wait till we saw what was presented Friday.
Okay, it's going to be voted on Friday. By Friday, it'll be too late. Just FYI.
So Thursday we'll be spending our day being the auditor, state auditor online to make sure that these recommendations are legal and that logistically that makes sense. So, but again, I am vehemently opposed to it. I think that it's just a way of creating havoc for us in those tax collections. Now that being said, additionally, I want firemen of the county to know that the fact that we've eliminated this county-paid fireman coordinator position is, I think, absolutely a big misstep on the part of the county. We have over 400 volunteer firemen in 15 departments across the county that all require at least 32 hours of additional training, certified training every year, and they work full-time jobs. So we're going to put a self-management on them, this administrative duty upon them to self-manage. Makes no sense to me. Again, we need to have somebody within the county that's responsible for that and paid to do that. Think about the amount of equipment that has to be certified every year. We have over 100,000 feet of fire hose that has to be inspected every year and certified. In addition to all the pumps and engines that have to be certified every year. So, everyone depends on these men that work 9 to 5 already to fit in during a business week time during the year to make sure the certifications occur and follow all the appropriate paperwork. To me, that's too much of an ask. So again, it goes back to the human capital component. At what point does this mismanagement cost us human capital? Is it at 2 a.m. in a fire in Meadow Bridge, or in Oak Hill, or Mount Hope, or Fayetteville, or Smithers, where we're at today, because someone did not certify a pump or a cable or a pump or a fire hose because we didn't have somebody in charge of that at the county level? So somebody's lost their home, or even worse than that, lost their life. So, again, accountability means that you're fully accountable. So, that fire coordinator position should be county funded and county supported and not left to the Firemen Association to manage or perform. So that's where I sit on that.
Gotcha.
Additionally, I know the firemen have been looking for a training center. They have a nice training center out here on 60, but they're lacking a classroom. So, again, if we can ask these men to run to our homes at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in a fire at all times of day or night, yearly, regardless of the weather, can we at least give them a classroom to study and train in? To me, I don't think that's too much of an ask. So, firemen, you have my full support on that.
Okay.
So, please feel free to reach out to me if you have questions or concerns with my comments.
You heard it here first. Folks, if you're just joining us, this is Drive Time with Mike. Mike Harvey is running for County Commission in Fayette County, and we welcome you to our live broadcast. Mike started driving again. I'm not sure where we're going, but we've been traveling the streets of Smithers today, And we'd encourage you to subscribe and like our page so that you can continue to stay in the know with respect to things that are happening in Fayette County, because we are visiting these communities and we are down in the weeds, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
With respect to the things that our citizens care about. And if there's something that you would like us to investigate, please chime in, leave a comment, leave us a message, and we'll be back in touch. And together we can make a difference in service to Fayette County.